the Mercedes-Benz Superdome here in New Orleans. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their veteran QB, the former Delaware Blue Hen, Joe Flacco.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
The first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 23 carries, 95 yards, and a score.
After the last game, they have plenty of reason to be confident in their running game. And even though they're facing a top 10 defense, they're not going to shy away from doing what they do best. Make them adjust to them. Make them stop what they do before they go to any type of a change-up.
Now a play fake here on first down. And Josh Hill has it. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. Flacco into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And some room to roam now. And what a return as he brings this one all the way back to the 25-yard line. He was trying to hit Thomas that time. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, you know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Hurry up, here we go. 319. 319.
They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs.
And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing. Right now, everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, new set of...
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So the first interception of his career under center, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
It has to. And I know he feels like the world is just tumbling down at this moment, but there's got to be some veteran somewhere, some mentor that's going to tell him, hang in there, my man. Plenty more to come. Keep firing.
They get the pick. Now what can Flacco do on first down? He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
Running with Kamara. And a nice gain there as he'll be taken down just shy of the 20. 9 yards on the pickup there as he'll be left with 3rd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
A quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
And Tampa Bay trots out. Ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves, maybe reward their defense a little bit.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They caught the ball free in the backfield.
And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
On 2nd down, Kamara. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole other guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage afterwards.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the 1st quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
2nd and goal from the 6 this time. He'll get it up the middle. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. Defensively, I think they can smell a 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
And Lutz puts this one through. And the Saints are going to take a 3-0 lead. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Dancing to his left. And avoids the contact by sliding. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And that one was nearly picked. Not sure he was accounting for the free safety. Now it brings up 3rd down.
He's not exactly had a banner start to this game. We're still in the 1st quarter. He's already thrown an interception, and that should have been the 2nd one.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. The give is to Elliott, and he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
I know the game's changed. A lot of people would say it's evolved. Look, I'm a little bit Neanderthal, okay? I love this. No exotic formations, no misdirection. Just line up and run the darn ball, pick up the 1st down. I love it.
Yeah, 3rd and short, that's what you're supposed to do. Like you said, old school, smash mouth football. Looking to throw. Flushed out right. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Bucs in possession of the football as we begin the 2nd quarter. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. He'll drop to throw. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack.
Well, competition comes up in so many different ways. And right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. Had about 5 sacks last week. We just saw their 1st one of this game.
Back out of that belly. Here we go. All right, here we go.
He'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. He may try and run for this. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
As a rookie quarterback, that's exactly how you endear yourself to your teammates. Give it up for the cause. It's also how you end up on the training table, too.
Yeah, it's a catch-22. Coach doesn't like it. Teammates love it. Where do you fall on it?
Well, I fall on wanting to endear yourself to your teammates, but pick your spots. Be smart about it. They need you for the full season.
Yeah, the rookie's going to learn as he goes. Here's Elliott. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12.
Gun!
Back to throw here. That's caught by the big tight end, O.J. Howard. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A good pickup there, a 22.
I don't know whether I want to be a fly on the wall or not when they hear the explanation of how one of the bigger targets on the field, the tight end can be that wide open and uncovered downfield. Who blew that assignment?
Somebody did.
No doubt about it. There's no way you're not going to account for him.
Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And a catch right side by Evans. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. First catch there for Evans, good enough for a first down. Late in the season now, MVP chatter starts, and he might be on the fringe. This is always an award that goes quarterback, running back, usually quarterback. A lot of bias. Does he deserve consideration?
He more than deserves consideration because the way the game is played in the NFL now, it's a pass-first league, right? So that means that people are going to adjust their defenses for him each and every week, and he's still putting up big-time numbers. I know the quarterbacks, the running backs get it, but he should be firmly in the race for MVP.
A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal.
Let's go! Blue 90! Blue 90!
They'll give it to him up the middle. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. They'll set up to throw. And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And this one is right through. And that will tie us at 3-3. So they get the field goal, but that was a 14-play drive to get 3.
You sound like you're going negative on me
I was.
Sounds like you're thinking the 3 is just not that good.
And people say that we're negative sometimes. So,
well, here's the deal. Getting the 3 is good. Obviously, you would think on a 14-play drive you're going to get 6 out of it. But that type of a drive can pay dividends later on because you might wear the defense down.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Now we'll see what Michael Thomas and the rest of the offense has in store here. Well, he's within shouting distance of a 1,000-yard season. Going to need a pretty good finish, though, if he wants to reach that mark.
Well, I like how you phrased it, partner. He is within shouting distance. If he stays on this pace, he's got a shot at it. But he needs a big game in there, right, to make sure that he gets it. So you know that during the week, in practice, and look, he asks for the ball all the time anyway. He's really going to ask for the ball and let his quarterback know he's open.
And a nice gain of 21 yards.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. It's a pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Staying on the ground on first with Kamara. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
A 10th carry for Kamara. Able to slither by. A sizable gain there, 9 yards as they get it back to a 3rd and 5.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
3rd down, Flacco from the gun. He is going to find Hill here. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. What a methodical drive this is turning out to be. That time 9 yards, and the sticks move again. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. 2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Flacco looks to throw. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
A red zone 1st down for Flacco. His throw caught at the 5. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
I know I spend a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. He'll get it up the middle. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone, trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
They'll try to run it in. It's Kamara. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Only a yard there, so it brings up 4th and goal.
There are certain drives in a game where anything less than a touchdown that caps it feels like an absolute disappointment. This is one of those drives.
Now the Buccaneers go ahead and take another timeout as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. And Lutz's kick is good. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals. It's 6-3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. Mike Evans and the rest of the offensive unit heading back out there now. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. 35 seconds, all that remains in the first half as they come up on first down. They go play action here on first down. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. He was trying to find O.J. Howard, and that'll bring up second down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Now let's go. Blue line it.
They'll drop the throw. Steps away to his left. Now he'll throw. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. O.J. Howard in the final seconds of the first half. And the Bucs are able to strike for 6. Well, so it goes for a rookie quarterback. He had the INT earlier in this first half, but he bounces back with a touchdown pass.
And you have to like the mental acumen, the toughness, the fortitude of him, because oftentimes for a rookie, you throw an interception early, you're taken right out of the game, or mentally you check out a little bit. Give him a lot of credit for bouncing back.
Now the try here for the extra point. And now it's blocked. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken about the 12. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. Barring a flag, final play here for Flacco and company. And that is incomplete. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Buccaneers out on top. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. We'll start over in Texas at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, where you see the final score there. Tom Brady, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. From there, let's head off and check out a second game. And they were losers in that one to the visiting Green Bay Packers. Jamal Williams, 2 touchdown runs to lead the way. And lastly, on Monday Night Football, this will be one to tune in for, as they've got a good one lined up between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a defensive struggle. Which offense can break through in the second half? To find out, let's hand it over to our broadcast team of Brandon Gotten and Charles Davis.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. The Bucs with the lead, and they'll get the football first as the second half is underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Second down, Elliott. No, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. On first down, he'll drop to throw. Forced out to his left. Now he's going to let it go deep, back over the middle. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. The linebacker, Demario Davis, got a hand in to break that one up.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. He's up to 87 yards receiving now, and it's a first down.
What a catch, and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Now, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
they
don't
get a
they?
little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game. And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Well, a second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Finds his target, Montgomery. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
They'll look to throw here. That is caught inside the 5. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Well, with that catch, he goes over 100 yards receiving on the night.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what...
And he's got it. Caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Ben Koyak, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead. A try here for the extra point. This time, the extra point up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. It gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long...
Under pressure, and Flacco's going to be dropped. Jason Pierre-Paul in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year. That's their first time getting to the quarterback, sack number 1. And, you know, they had 5 last week, I'm remembering.
And you have to find a way to slow down the pass rush, not necessarily with just protecting your quarterback, but just show them a lot of different looks. And they did that in the first half. You know, different angles, different things to slow down the speed. They got to him here in the second half. Now they've got to come up with a counter to that and maybe do something different.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. They'll set up the screen to Elliott. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Hurry up, here we go.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And this one is incomplete. Big O.J. Howard, his intended target. And it's 2nd down. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot, but they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
Here we go now. Blue Lightning. Blue Lightning.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Alex Okafor. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Hurry up, here we go.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And he took the contact as he was throwing it. And the ball drops incomplete.
3rd down is the down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win. And the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And they'll go ahead and down this one right on the chalk of the 20-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
False start, offense.
So that'll back them up 5.
Still first down.
A false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Under pressure, and Flacco's going to be dropped. Jason Pierre-Paul in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year.
That's his second sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
Second down, Flacco now. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
3rd and long for Joe Flacco. On the check down, he finds Kamara, and he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's the Saints who hold the football, but they're trailing as we begin the 4th quarter of play. And here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. Now a hit and a loose football. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. And now hang on here. The door, can you hear it? It's a little open.
Or is that the squeaky hinges that I'm hearing right now? Yeah, the door.
Is that too high pitch?
No, not at all. The door is open a little bit. It's almost like when you told those horror stories on the camping trip, right? And now, look out.
Yeah.
We've got a little bit different look on the game at this point.
Big momentum swing here.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Now he's going to throw it back deep, and that's caught inside the 35. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. It's a big play there for the Buccaneers. 51 yards. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. A 1st down carry by Elliott. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was trying to find Deshaun Jackson that time. 3rd down here.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle 3rd of the field where he threw that one. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Jackson's got it over the middle. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. Some collective exhales over there on the sideline. A big pickup through the air on 4th down to bring up 1st and goal. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked in the distance you need. And that's exactly what they got done.
And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that at just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
They're going to look to throw. And he's got his tight end, Howard. It's a Buccaneer touchdown. O.J. Howard, a beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Buccaneers here finding a way to stretch their lead.
As far as tight ends go, if you get 3 or 4 touchdowns in a season, that's usually counted as a pretty good year.
And CD, he just hit double digits. That's 10 touchdowns for him now.
Yeah, and that's something you really have to applaud. That's elite-level production.
Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. They'll start at the 25. Out comes the Saints offensive unit and the NFC playoff race. Let's have a look at it. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. Line of scrimmage, again, the 25, 2nd and 10. Flacco to throw again on 2nd down. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. First target, first catch, and a 1st down. Flacco now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Flacco from the gun. Over the middle to Smith. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball, and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just run it right down your throat.
A gain of 6 there on 1st. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And again, it's Flacco to throw. He gets it to Thomas. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. It's a gain of 13 for number 13, and it gives him a first down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Throwing here on first down, Flacco. That's caught by Meredith right side. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Flacco will take to the air again. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. As his guys are in for 6. And the Saints get a bit closer.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
And the Buccaneers able to recover. Their hands team does its job. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Shifts by him at the 25. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. A give to Elliott. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. And quickly we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Now let's go.
That one looks like he'll throw here. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Looking to throw. Flush to his right. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get the game speed...
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked.
Please tell me this doesn't come off as snarky. But that's a relative chip shot. I mean, you've got to be able to execute that one. I don't care what they design on the other side about trying to block the kick. That should be 3 points on the board.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. If you're out at 55, 60 yards, low trajectory from here, you get that thing up, this should be 3.
Yeah, there's nothing routine in football, but this one really almost should be. Snap, hold, kick, ball through the post. Didn't happen that way.
Here's Flacco. And his throw is incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. Now a desperation. He's got a man complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. And that one results in 35 yards. Pressure mounting. Flacco toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to his running back, Alvin Kamara. And now it's second down.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
To pass, Flacco. Catch here, left side, Thomas. Gave a glimpse of his quick feet and then taken down right at the 30. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. Flacco to throw. He's going to let it fly. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And a great return as he takes us up just shy of the 45. Thomas, the intended target.
Obviously disappointing, but you had to go for broke here, down 2 scores. So that forced you to make some throws you definitely wouldn't want to make. And I think this interception is going to pretty much write an end to this one.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. Victory formation now for the Buccaneers. Down to a knee they go.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Buccaneers, they get back to 500 now as the win moves them to 7-7. And they'll get another road